Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Shapiro, Prince George's County Planning Board Chair, and I want to welcome you to our annual budget forum, our second annual budget forum. I want to thank you for joining us as we seek your input as we plan the budget for the Planning Department and the Department of Parks and Recreation. And of course, your participation is important. You help guide us through the process as we figure out how best to allocate resources throughout the county. We will continue to build on our community-focused programs as always, and be attentive to helping grow the county's economy and plan for the future generations of the county. I want to introduce my colleagues who are joining me today. We have Vice Chair Dorothy Bailey. Good evening. Commissioner Dorner is here. Commissioner Giraldo. And
good evening. Thank you for everybody coming.
Good evening, all.
I want to note for everybody that this meeting is being recorded and the video will be archived and available by the Planning Board's website, pgplanningboard.org. So prior to your testimonies, the Commission Corporate Budget Director is going to give a brief presentation on the operating budget, the overall budget process timeline, and the capital improvement program. And of course, we are very much looking forward to taking the time that you took the time to join us this evening, but remind you that staff is available for concerns and questions throughout the year. And you can see the screen in front of you for more contact information, or the screen will appear with more contact information. There we go. Thank you. We are joined by several key members of our agency who are listening. We have our acting executive director for the commission, Bill Spencer. We have our corporate budget director, Terry Charles, who you'll hear from shortly. We have our planning department folks, Director Lakeisha Hall and Acting Deputy Director James Hunt. And from the Department of Parks and Recreation, we have Director Bill Tyler and Deputy Directors Steve Carter, Wanda Ramos, Len Pettiford, and our Chief of Park Police, Jermaine Haywood, is with us as well. I want to thank you all for being here and being part of this process, and to listening to the good residents of our county and what they have to say. So let me turn now to our Corporate Budget Director, Terry Charles. We're going to hear a brief overview of our budget, and then we will move on to participation from folks. Terry Picot Charles, take it away. You're on mute, Terry.
Thank you. Good evening, and again, thank you for attending today's budget forum. We at the Commission have begun the early work to formulate a budget, which is the formal resource plan for next year's operations, which will be FY26. As has already been stated, your input now today is most welcome and most timely, as the Commission consistently strives to be good stewards. I will present just a short overview of the Commission to hopefully lend some context. Next slide, please. Captured here is just a brief reminder of who we are. We are a bi-county agency created in 1927 by the General Assembly. We serve Prince George's and Montgomery counties. The Prince George's operations includes the Planning Department and the Department of Parks and Recreation, and both are overseen by the Prince George's Planning Board. Next slide, please. Our services are available to the nearly 950,000 residents of this great county. Next slide, please. As shown here.
Terry, hold on one second. Ms. Dixon, we're glad you're with us. Yeah, let me ask you to mute your microphone. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. All right, Terry, keep going.
As shown here, we daily work to enhance our community by providing and maintaining award-winning excellence parks and offering a plethora of recreational opportunities. We also serve the community by engaging in land use planning to manage growth and protect and steward natural, cultural, and historic resources for the county. Next slide, please. This first pie chart shows the current year's budget and how the services provided are funded. Of the nearly $513 million in budgeted revenues, property taxes are the main revenue source, as shown here at $383 million. In fact, if we exclude the use of reserves, it provides for 91% of the budget. The current property tax rate is 29.4 cents.
Hold on one
per
second, Yancy.
$100.
Sharon, hold on one second. I need to remind everybody, if you could mute your microphones, if everybody who's listening could check to make sure, except for Terry, make sure that your microphones are muted because we hear some background noise that's distracting. Thank you kindly. And Ms. Picot-Charles, take it away.
Okay, so again, nearly $513 million is in budgeted revenues in the current year. Property.
They muted you by mistake, or you muted yourself.
All right, we're going to get it going. Of the nearly $513 million in budgeted revenues in the current year budget, property taxes are our main revenue source, and they count for $383 million. In fact, when we exclude the use of resources, property tax provides for 91% of the budget. The current property tax rate is 29.4 cents per $100 of assessed value for real property and 73.5 cents for personal property. Please note, those rates have not changed in the past 8 years. The last time the rate was adjusted was back in 2016. Next slide, please. This slide shows the average cost to a county homeowner that goes in support of all of the recreation park and planning services delivered by the commission. The calculation uses the county's residential accessible base divided by the actual number of property accounts, which account for housing units. This represents July 2024 data. So the annual average cost is almost $1,200 or $3.28 per day. Next slide, please. This slide presents a pictorial of your tax investment. What you see is the Commission's inventory of diverse facilities that are operated in the county on behalf of the community. As you can see, noted here, the county's park acreage is 29,787, and we also have numerous athletic fields, community centers, miles of trails, hundreds of playgrounds, tennis and pickleball courts, historic sites, an equestrian center, and an airport. Next slide, please. On the next two slides, we are proudly sharing just a few of the capital improvement program highlights. As you can see, the rebuild of the Marlow Heights Community Center is well underway and looking great. The next community center replacement is going to be the Good Luck Community Center, and its design will be getting started soon. Many sports courts over the past year were upgraded. This includes the Palmer Park Community Center and the Fairland pickleball courts. We also invite you and your dog to stop by one of our new dog parks at Riverview or Kentland Community Center. Next slide.
Next slide.
Again, here are even more pictures that capture the constant activity underway, albeit for new sites or renewals of our existing sites. We celebrate the brand new park at Cantor Creek. We upgraded the walk-in trains. We replaced 15 playgrounds and completed 6 new ones, including 1 ninja course and fitness station. We also completed the indoor track replacement at the Sports and Learning Complex and upgraded 3 athletic fields, including replacement of the turf field at Walker Mill Regional Park, and we completed improvements to the Southern Area Aquatics Complex. Just to share. Next slide, please. Now, this slide provides a sample of planning highlights. In the past fiscal year, the Planning Department continues to produce high-quality work to further the goals and objectives of Plan 2035. This includes multiple studies like those shown on the screen. the Southern Avenue Metro Station Pedestrian Accessibility Study, and the adoption of the sectional map for Bowie, Mitchellville, and vicinity, Districts 4 and 6. Next slide. Now to begin a wrap up. Here's the other side of the budget equation. If you'll recall, I shared the revenues. This pie chart shows how the funds are allocated for spending. The current year's operating budget is $559.6 million. Most of the budget, in fact, 77%, is allocated for park and recreation services, and that includes the expenditures for capital projects and related debt service. Next slide. This slide provides a summary of the current year capital budget, which is $142.4 million. And it also shows what the adopted capital improvement program, which spans the period of FY 2025 to FY 30 and totals $382 million. Now, please note that the subsequent years are subject to change as funding is approved annually. This year's budget is one of our highest to date, and it reflects not only cost increases, but the fact that our inventory continues to grow and the existing infrastructure continues to age. As you can see, nearly half of our program goes to support infrastructure maintenance projects, and the other half provides for new construction to address critical needs. Next slide. This slide shares with you our typical time frame from budget development through adoption. Our fiscal year starts July 1st. As you can see, it is a 12-month process that we undergo. We begin planning in July and August, and then in September and October, we hold public budget forums like today. We also get guidance from the Spending Affordability Committee of the county, and of course, the planning boards, both in October and November. Then we find ourselves in December, where yet again, we meet with the Spending Affordability Committee, and then the commission adopts a proposed budget, which is submitted to the county council and executive by January 15th. Then after that point, we begin our budget hearings and meetings in February and March with the county. Then the county executive sends her budget recommendations to the council in March, and we then begin meeting with council in April. Then comes May, where we have a joint county council for commission-wide items, and then council adopts a budget for us in late May, followed by the commission's adoption in June. That completes the budget cycle. Next slide. This slide provides you a snapshot again of our main revenue source, which is property tax. And as you can see the trend, the growth performance has been steady and moderate, and we are anticipating a continuation of that trend for FY 26. Next slide. This final slide just speaks to our continued commitment to our community to deliver award-winning services with a particular emphasis as noted for FY 26. And we're going to do so in a fiscally responsible manner, such that when that FY 26 budget proposal is adopted by the commission in December, it will properly balance community needs with the alignment of the available fiscal resources. Next slide, please. Again, this slide just shows that I have completed the planned overview presentation. Hopefully, you've been able to gain a better sense of the commission, its services, and its budget. And now we really truly look forward to receiving your valuable input. And we again thank you for participating in tonight's forum.
Thank you, Ms. Picot-Charles. Thank you very much for the excellent presentation. I know it's helpful to us. I hope it's helpful to the public as well. And I appreciate the way you provide the information for us. So folks, let me go through the participation guidelines very briefly. These guidelines are actually posted on our website, again, pgplanningboard.org. All participants, please remember to mute your phones. I know this will run into technology issues always, but it's very distracting if you don't mute your phone and we hear background noise. That's when you're not speaking, of course, and mute your cameras too if you're not speaking, unless, except for the commissioners, of course. And then we'll hear from you. We ask you to limit your remarks to up to 3 minutes, which you'll see on a clock in front of you on the screen to help manage the time. If you have more comments to add or have additional thoughts later, we will be accepting written comments until the close of business on Wednesday, October 16, 2024. So you have an opportunity for additional comments, please. And the written comments can be submitted to us, as you can see on the chart before you, on the page before you, by mail, by fax, by email. And we look forward to those as well. It's very helpful. So now I'm going to start with any elected officials and appointed individuals that we have. And then after that, we'll go to our speakers list. I have two folks, one elected, one appointed. I'm going to make sure they're here and see if I'm missing anybody. We have the Honorable Alan Thompson, Mayor of the Town of Riverdale Park. Mayor Thompson, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. And then we also have Jocelyn Alexander, who's the chair of the Prince George's County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Ms. Alexander, I see you there. I'm glad you're here. Do we have any other elected or appointed officials who would like to speak? Okay, so after these two, then we will go to our speakers list in the order that we have it provided. I'll go through that in a bit. Let's now turn to Mayor Thompson. We'll put 3 minutes up on the clock, and certainly as a courtesy, if you need a bit more time, Mayor, we'll afford that. But if you could introduce yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My camera doesn't seem to be working, but that's okay. I'm the Mayor Alan K. Thompson of the Town of Riverdale Park, and I want to start out my public remarks by thanking MNCPPC and the board for the many activities and facilities you support. We have many parks, beautiful parks in Riverdale Park. The planning activities, including Legacy Mutsy support, we greatly appreciate. We appreciate the many enhancements you put in over recent years, including new pickleball courts, futsal courts, etc. And as I understand it, we have an upgrade to restroom facilities in the Riverside Park going on right now, and we greatly appreciate that investment. We will be submitting written requests. The town council has met and discussed what will be in there 3 or 4 times. We're finalizing that, and we'll get it in on time. I'm simply wanting to provide a little overview of what will be in the written requests. So I'll just start out first by saying we really enjoy the the activities at Riversdale Mansion and hope that you can continue and expand support of those activities. We will be requesting some enhanced recreation infrastructure, including enhancements to baseball fields, additional futsal courts, maybe even a skateboard park. That's under discussion. And then the last part that I want to spend most of my time discussing is sort of some enhanced pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure. So at the moment, there are east-west, there are hiker-biker trails that go underneath East-West Highway, around sort of flanking the Anacostia River. And there's one of them on the east side that almost but not quite connects to a neighborhood there. And again, I believe that this project may be underway, but we have anxious residents there who would really like to be able to not walk across East-West Highway, but instead go underneath there without having to slog through mud. And so hope you can speed up that project. And the last thing I'll bring up is that the state will be replacing that bridge starting in a few years. They have project plans underway. And we would like to have a hiker-biker trails seamlessly connect into that. There's going to be an expanded pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure crossing over it. And we would like to have that connect in well with that. And then on one side of the bridge, there is the Wells Run, and there's a pedestrian bicycle bridge across that. And that bridge has had problems in the past, and I know that it's somewhere on your plan to replace and upgrade it. And I'd just like to ask that perhaps in this year's budget, if you could put some engineering resources to start the discussion with the state to make sure that your plans for that and their plans for the bridge over the river mesh together. And that runs out my time. And I want to say thank you again. I appreciate it, and I hope you can include some of these projects in your budget for next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for your continuing partnership. It's much appreciated. Folks, before I move to the next person, I really want to ask folks to check everybody to check your microphones to make sure you're muted, because we still hear some background. I'm going to call out some individuals because I'm a mean person. When I look at the list of people, I see a Tracy T, who is not muted and needs to be. Dare I say, Patty Vallone, sorry, she works with me. You need to mute. And anyone else on the list? And staff, if you can help with this too, because it's distracting if folks. I see a caller 4 and a caller 7, but I don't know who they are. All right, have I shamed anybody into muting? Yes? Okay. All right, with that, we'll turn to Jocelyn Alexander, who is the chair of the Prince George's County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Well, again, put 3 minutes up on the clock and take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Shapiro, and thank you to the entire board, as well as the Parks and Rec leadership that is on the call as well. I am Jocelyn Alexander, as stated, and I am presenting in front of you or here today on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, or PRAB. After attending last week's in-person 2024 budget forum, the PRAB determined that it would be beneficial to provide a brief statement for this forum to identify for the board and the community who we are, what we are hoping to accomplish, and how we are looking to partner with the board and the community. The PRAB is a group of committed community members who are passionate about parks and recreation in Prince George's County. PRAB members are appointed by the county executive and confirmed by the county council. We are tasked with providing advice to the county executive, county council, and the Prince George's County Planning Board on issues related to parks and recreation as appropriate. The current board consists of 8 members: myself, Sean Floyd, who is the Boyd Vice Chair, Dr. Rochelle Thompson, who is the recording secretary, Ms. Harriet Irving, Ms. Oludunni Oni, Mr. Kelvin Smith, Ms. Betty Tingle, and Ms. Tamara Williams. Parks and Recreation leadership and our board liaison, Ms. Anika Jackson in particular, have been overwhelmingly supportive of our efforts through this forming phase, and we have immense respect for the hardworking department employees. We hope to expand this relationship while also establishing similar relationships with the community, the council, this planning board, and the commission as a whole. While we are a newly convened board, we are excited about the opportunities to support the community through engagement and advocacy based on fact-based information and direct exposure to the community's priorities and needs. We heard last week's passionate testimonies from fellow county residents, and we'll listen, of course, tonight as well. And while we are in no position to offer specific advocacy or recommendations at this time, we will connect with the community as well as the department and the planning board to capture and complete a complete picture and understanding of these concerns and others, as well as their impacts to existing priorities and the overall budget. Ultimately, we will meet with the county council ahead of their budget discussions and approvals to provide our advocacy and recommendations based on information and facts gathered through our efforts. We hope that you, the board and the community, will work with us to ensure that our positions and statements are well informed and benefit the entire county. So please feel free to reach out to us. There is an email address that we are hoping to make sure it gets reactivated, and that's prab@pgparks.com. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thanks for your service, and I appreciate the words. I appreciate the explanation as well. The description is helpful to hear. And thank you to all the members of the advisory board. Next, we will move to, are there any other appointed elected officials that I missed? Hearing none, we'll go to our speakers list, and I'll call folks out 2 at a time, just so you can know who you're coming after. I'm going to call them in the order in which you all registered. And let me see where my list is. Okay. Thank you. So first on our list, again, we're going to put 3 minutes up on the clock for everybody just to help manage the time. Be sure to introduce yourself, state your name and address for the record when you come on. You don't have to be video. You can be audio as well. It's fine. So first we have Sharon Sims Colbert, and then we have Brandon Searles. Miss Sharon Sims Colbert, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll put 3 minutes on the clock, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so very much. Good evening, all. My name is Sharon R. Sims Colbert. I am the Ways and Means Chair for the Birchwood City Clearview Manor community. I have been working with the Park and Planning for the last, 15 years. And right now we have scheduled the installation of a new playground that will take it from where the field is away from that area and over close to our pavilion. Now, we had some delays, and because of new regulations, that is why I'm speaking tonight. The regulations in reference to the installation of the playgrounds for draining purposes, and secondly, the new requirements for entranceways at all parks. I am requesting this evening that additional funding will be put forth for us in 2025 so that we can complete the installation of the playground within regulations, and also the entranceway. We need additional funding for that. We are a guest recreation center. We have regular games, practices that are on our field. We are your unofficial hosts. We steadily clean that park in addition to the park and planning staff so that it stays beautiful and it is very inviting. So what I am asking tonight, and I will be sending in a written statement with all the documentations, is that additional funding will be granted to us so that we can make this park the park that it should be. I thank you for your time, and I really thank you for the prompt consideration. We are a classified Maryland State sustainable community, and we want to sustain our park and planning facility in our area. I thank you again. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Sims Colbert. I appreciate it. Next, we have Brandon Searles, then Jose Obando. Mr. Searles. Do we have Mr. Searles? I'll come back to folks just in case we miss anybody. Next, we have Jose Obando, and then Alan Oates. Mr. Obando.
Yes, I'm present. Good evening, board members, planning board members, and Park and Planning Commission. My name is Jose Obando. I live in Montgomery County. I was a graduate from PG County High Schools. As a former PG County resident, I did attend. So I'm speaking on behalf of Wells Ice Rink, simply because through the years and as a teenager, when I used to go ice skating there, they had open walls. I currently have a son that is it's been there 2 years for the training in the ice skating rink with the AU hockey team. And last year I did attend a forum as well, and there was talks about the possibilities of enclosing the rink. It would definitely benefit everybody that goes there, simply because we would have more practices throughout the seasons as opposed to just the winter season. I don't know if anybody was present on last week's personal meeting, but it would definitely mean a lot to a lot of people, especially me. And my parents still live in PG County. I know they're part of that community still. And, we travel 30 minutes to go to this ice rink simply because the community is there. Everybody there is very pleasant to be around. And I think the Wells Warriors deserves to have that rink to be enclosed, simply because, again, I personally went there. I now have a son that is going there, and it's been really great to be part of that community. Let me see if my son, you want to say something? All right, say it quick.
My name is Ian. I'm a Wells Warrior hockey player. I love the community Wells Warriors ice rink. It's my second year being a part of the 8U team. It would be great if we could have the Wells Warriors.
Closed in.
So then we could play all seasons.
Say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. I hope you can consider that. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for your time.
Excuse me, Chair, I believe you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just thank Mr. Obando and his son for their wonderful words. Mr. Oakes, and then Trey Proctor. Alan Oakes, are you on the line? No, we'll come back to you. Trey Proctor, are you on the line? Come back to you as well. Next, we have Valerie Woodall and then Jacqueline Webb. Ms. Woodall?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. How are you? Thank you, Chair Shapiro and commissioners, for providing time to participate in the budget forum this evening. My name is Valerie Woodall, and I am the Associate Director for the Anacostia Trails Heritage Area, which is one of 13 state-certified cultural tourism districts in Maryland. ATHA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization in Prince George's County dedicated to enhancing cultural destinations and creating educational experiences for residents and visitors alike. And thanks to your funding and support, we are able to get a lot done. Our work really focuses on community partnerships, events, and grant making across the county. Some examples include working with MNCPPC and other local, county, and state agencies on initiatives such as a reinterpretation plan for the Battle of Bladensburg, a new accessible trail connector in Colmar Manor, walkable watershed efforts in the port towns, and undertaking an inventory of ATHA-supported signage in the heritage area, and more. We are also currently leading community meetings with a diverse group of stakeholders related to how Prince George's County can best commemorate the upcoming 250th of American democracy. Each year, we organize a free community event designed to showcase the importance of trails in community called Trolley Trail Day. This growing event brought more than 2,700 people to the Route 1 corridor between Hyattsville, Riverdale Park, and College Park during the day, and ended with a night at the museum rock concert at the College Park Aviation Museum. We just started a free historic Hyattsville public art walking tour, starting at Pyramid Atlantic Art Center on Tuesdays and Sundays, which builds conversations about public art and brings visitors to the city of Hyattsville, surrounding areas, and business community. And we also are very proud of our grant making efforts. Each year we support small but mighty projects through our Rocket Grant program, as well as serve as a technical resource and liaison to the larger cultural tourism grants through the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority, bringing $2.8 million in grant funds to local entities over the last 10 years. And past entities receiving funds include the Riversdale House Museum, College Park Aviation Museum, and Dinosaur Park. And we're growing. Just this past year, our organization jumped from 1 to 2 full-time staff, and we've partnered with the Maryland Department of Service and Civic Innovation to host 2 Service Corps members this year. And as we work to expand our impact to more organizations and destinations, our funding must grow. And so we are eager to continue to discuss funding opportunities to match our dedicated effort to be active partners in revitalization, education, and recreation in Prince George's County. So with that said, thank you very much for your time and consideration, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Woodall. Thanks for all the work that ATHA does. Next, we have Jacqueline Webb and then Trevone Suki. Ms. Webb?
Yes, I'm here. My
Okay.
name is Jacqueline. My name is Jacqueline Webb, and I reside in the Fort Washington area. And I have been a member of what we called our Water Friends working together, and we've developed a group starting in 3 years ago when the Bach Road Southern Aquatic Center opened up, and it has been a group of women that have come together as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, working out together for better fitness. And during that 3 year period of time, so many individuals have come, and we've seen the results of blood pressures going down, individuals coming off of their diabetes medicine and other ailments improving because of the warm water um, therapy that has been going on there and working out together. And we've seen retirees and women in their 60s and 70s and gentlemen in their 80s come together and fellowship that early in the morning, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And we actually started the day the pool opened up, which was the first weekend in May. It would have been 3 years. In May of this year would have been 3 years. And what we did notice is from day one, things started to break down. And then from May to December, we started seeing cracking in the cements and other things starting to happen. And the county was notified, and individuals came in to work on it. And then by the second year, more things started to happen, and it was closed for short spans of time. And repairs were done, or we should say, I guess, patchwork was done. And then the end of January or the beginning of February of this year, it was immediately closed. Our concern has been is that we waited such a long time to have this warm water pool opened up. It's the only one in the region that we know of right now. And it was a process that started way even before I even moved into the Fort Washington or in this area. This project had been working on it. We met individuals there who had been a part of the planning committee for quite some time. And to see it actually open up and close within less than 3 years, it was very saddening to us. And then wondering what's the next step? What does the board have planned moving forward? We do understand there's litigation going on with the builders, but again, what happens after that? How long will this wait? And such a facility to just be closed and the response be indefinite is very concerning to those of us that pay taxes in this area. And as our property taxes is going up, what's the answer? What is the plan? And that's why we're here tonight, to hear from the planning board. Thank you for hearing from me.
Ms. Webb, I appreciate you taking the time. Our team is here and listening and taking notes, and you can be assured that that there will be folks who will be in contact with you just at least to give you an update of what the status is that you're talking about. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Trevone Suki, and then Tamar Davis Brown. Ms. Suki, or Mr. Suki rather. Okay, we'll come back to you just in case. Tamara Davis Brown, and then Lola Tumaini. Ms. Brown? We'll come back to you as well. Lola Tumaini. Cassandra Cartagena and Alexander Nickel. Ms. Cartagena. Ms. Alexandra Nickel?
Here.
Okay, Ms. Nickel, great. If you could introduce yourself for the record, and we'll put 3 minutes up on the clock, and the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Nickel, and I am here speaking on behalf of the Herbert Olympics. I am a college student at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and also a Wells figure skating coach. I grew up at Wells Ice Rink. It is where I learned, made friends, competed, and had one of my first high school jobs. Now, I am certified coach in both of the national figure skating bodies, and coach learn to skate lessons, 2 of the Wells competitive teams, and my own individual students. One of the best things about growing up and now coaching at Wells is the unique and diverse community Wells has always been a place to help encourage and enable, and has built this community of many different backgrounds. No matter your race, gender, body type, financial standing, age, ability, or religion, you will find a home at Wells. I am learning that this is unfortunately not the case at any other race. You cannot find this kind of amazing community anywhere else, and believe me, I have been looking. Last year, I competed on a team in Philly that was entirely white, and besides me, we're all part of the same sailing and country club. When I went to skate on a rink near me, they would not give me information on coaches or teams because I'm heavier and did not fit the idea of what a real skater looked like. Even after I told them my skating credentials. This is part of why I commute 4 hours each week and coach and skate at Wells. As a coach over this summer, I have had to find alternative rinks where I can coach my students because Wells is closed. Often, my students are the only non-white skaters on the ice. In addition, some of my skaters had to take the whole summer off as they cannot afford the prices of the other rinks. This is the experience for many Wells skaters while our rink has no ice. But come the fall, Wells will reopen and our community will come back. I am able to coach all of these kids once again. Over the last season alone, I have taught nonverbal skaters, trans skaters, families with multiple children in the program, older and beginner skaters, and many other skaters who have been unable to or uncomfortable going to another rink. This is the community I came back for, and these are the students that sadly have to be set back from their peers over the summer when they become rusty when Wells is closed. This is why I am asking you to give my students and all the skaters in the amazing community at Wells a full year rink. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the very thoughtful words. Appreciate it. Next, we have Nova Johns and then Dr. Duchelle McLaurin. Nova Johns? No. Dr. Duchelle McLaurin and then Patrice Brown. Dr. McLaurin? Patrice Brown and then Dawn Queen. Patrice Brown. Dawn Queen and then Melissa Schweisgood. Dawn Queen. I just checked to make sure I'm mute, folks, but I'm not. All right, my voice is being heard. Melissa Schweisgood, Titus Black. Ms. Schweisgood, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, take it away. The floor is yours. We'll put 3 minutes up on the clock.
All right, so thank you so much for, I know you have a long week of hearings. You had a West Hyattsville Queen's Chapel hearing last night. You've got this tonight and a big board meeting tomorrow. So I appreciate your time. And I want to thank everyone for coming out to speak. I really always appreciate hearing other folks and knowing that people are engaged. At first, I want to recognize Bob Patton, Matt Coates and his team, Neil Davis, Sean Beaumont, and the grants team for their incredible trail development and maintenance work, and park rangers Ben Sweet and Paolo for helping to address various issues along the trails. We have great folks. I've adopted a segment of the Northwest Trail, and I'm a donor to the parks, doing my part to give back, but tonight I'm going to take a little over 2 minutes left to ask you to please increase the budget allocation for trails, plan implementation, public safety, trees, litter reduction, and real turf. But I got to say, Walls for Wells first. I was really moved by them last year. I love their advocacy. Please let's not make them have to come back and ask again next year. Let's put some walls on Wells. So first of all, trails. As we know, Prince George's has a great trail system. I use the Anacostia River Trail System for transportation and recreation daily for commuting to work. However, the trails are concentrated along the Route 1 corridor, leaving many communities out, particularly lower income communities that rely on car-free transportation and are equally deserving of safe places to recreate and get to their errands and their jobs for, and develop their physical and mental health. Please continue to allocate operating funds to trail planning and maintenance and grant seeking, and the SIP to construction, especially for east-west connections and the southern part of the county. There's a treasure trove in MPOT and the Capital Trails Coalition Network Plan. Implementation. So MNCCPC is fantastic at planning, but plans such as MPOT 2009 have had very limited implementation because, as you know, you rely on DPW, SHA, and municipalities to implement, and they need to get funding. They need to allocate that funding, and they need to be willing to implement. And the fact is that these implementing entities really need to have more of a stake in plans to do this. So please revise the planning process to integrate true joint planning and reallocate some plan development funds to engagement around implementation after approval. Public safety, just wanted to ask for increased funding for park policing to address ongoing alcohol use in parks such as Kirkwood, Queenstown, and Bladensburg, open fires, and continued gang-related graffiti, including on the Northwest Branch and Sligo Trails in Hyattsville and Green Meadows and Lewisdale. We really want to make sure our parks and trails remain safe and welcoming for all. Lastly, trees. Just want to do, a lot of our trees are very highly affected by invasives, and to address climate change and canopy loss, please invest in funding for invasive removal and tree planting and a Weed Warriors program like Montgomery County has. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time. Next, we have Mr. Titus Black, who I see on the camera. Young man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Take it away. Say your name for the record, and then you can talk for up to 3 minutes.
Yep. Hello. My name is Titus Black, and I am here for Walls for Wells. I have been to Wells since I was a little kid. That is where I learned to ice skate, hockey skate, and everything. I've enjoyed it, but there's something wrong. We don't have walls. Without the walls, it's unsafe because of all the ice bumps. Ice bumps can knock you over when you're on the ice. They can make it so it's annoying. They can do a lot of things. Wait, what? Without the walls as well, for hockey, we have to wait plenty of time, and it makes it all foggy. We've had plenty of time. We've had times where our community has looked a little bad because we had to cancel games just because of fog. Hockey is important to me because it's a way that I have made plenty of friends, and I've done it all at Wells. I hope you will choose to make Wells a safer, better rink by putting walls up. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to talk.
Thank you, young man. Very well done. Very well done. Hey, can I ask you, Mr. Black?
Hey, come here. Yeah?
Mr. Titus, did you speak last year as well, or is this the first time for you?
Yep, I've skated for plenty of time.
Did you speak
But did you come speak to us last year? Your first time?
Yep.
You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
And now if we could hear from your staff, Miss Anita Black.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
My name is Anita Black, and I'm a lifelong PG County resident, so about 40 years now. Over the years, my family has extensively used Park and Rec. My kids have enjoyed soccer skills, basketball skills, judo and hip hop classes at College Park Community Center, archery at Berwyn Heights Community Center. My daughter began her love of ballet at the Good Luck Community Center. They learned to swim at the Ellen E. Linson Pool. We've done gymnastics at Sports and Learning, farm education classes, homeschool science classes, and animal interaction at Watkins. We've done the colonial history summer programming at Montpelier, Riversdale, and Darnell. Loved it. We've found fossils, which was really exciting, at the Dinosaur Interpretive Site, and watched shows at Public Playhouse. Visited absolutely every single one of the North County Imagination playgrounds and over half of the South County playgrounds. We don't make it there as often because of the drive. We know every single plane at the Aviation Museum and have visited a plethora of your nature centers, parks, trails, festivals, special programming, and enjoyed it all. As much as we love and take full advantage of Parks and Rec offering in our area, I have never once considered taking any time to advocate for any of these sites or programs until today. Because my general philosophy in life is that when there's a loss in one area, there's a gain in another, and there's new opportunities. And I don't know what the best things are, but I do think there are exceptions to this. And sometimes we lose things that are nearly impossible to build again. And I think that this situation is happening at Wells. There's a community at Wells that's not duplicated in any of your local offerings. I've never seen Park and Center staff work so well with the community to actively make the programming more approachable and understandable. They take the time to offer free gear, offer special sessions for information, mini ice shows before the big ones so that new families can understand what they're getting into, which is really special. I believe that all this work from the staff there has made Wells very successful in building community. And that's why you see such a big, diverse group at Wells. And it's not just a diversity in ethnicities, it's also personalities, ages, and socioeconomic statuses. They all come together and form a community that's a lot more than just skating. The friendships that these kids get to form and adults, then when people come together to tackle a shared goal like a show or a competition, go way deeper than acquaintances made at your other recreational classes, and even other ones that we participated at Greenbelt Rec Center or in Boys and Girls Club. My kids have never made so many friends or had so many playdates or birthday parties as they've gotten at Wells. I hope that you guys can consider building and keep that highest standard of excellence in the building that the staff have done so well in providing from the staffing perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Black. Appreciate it, and thank you for bringing Titus up in front of us as well. Next, we have Xavier Conte and Moretta Henderson Sims. Mr. Conte? Moretta Henderson Sims, and then Kathy Bartolomeo. Ms. Henderson Sims? Great, good, we see you. We don't hear you, you're on mute. Take your time, but you're still on mute. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Bottom middle of your screen where it says mic. I'll tell you what, we'll move on, but we'll come back to you. You can call in, and there's a call-in number. Can somebody on the staff help her out so she gets the call-in number? Yes.
Yes, I'll be texting that in the chat.
Okay, all right. We're going to text the call-in number in the chat, Ms. Henderson Sims, and then you can call in, okay? So don't leave us, but I'm going to move on to the next person. Kathy Bartolomeo, and then Rashida Holman Jones. Ms. Bartolomeo, are you there? Rashida Holman Jones, and then Portia Anderson. Ms. Holman Jones. Portia Anderson, I think I saw earlier. And Vita Dixon. Portia Anderson. Vita Dixon, and then Janet Kingold. Ms. Dixon, we definitely saw you earlier. I hope you're still around.
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate this opportunity to speak on behalf of Birchwood City Park and Recreation. We enjoy our park immensely in Oxon Hill. I'm also serving on the Birchwood City Community Association as the publicity chair. And we really love our park. I mean, to walk, to play, to do activities, but just recently, and it may be going on for more than just recently, is more illegal activities are happening at the park, some in the day, but mostly in the evening or at night. So I am asking if the board could give us security cameras or have more park police presence, anything to help us out for public safety. one day we were at our community meeting. We came out the building around, I guess, 9 o'clock, and the drugs hit us so strong that I know you're not supposed to be smoking in the park. So I was just hoping that more police presence could be there because I didn't see any. Our guest football teams come out to practice, soccer teams, and to have the children endure that is disgraceful. So I don't know whether you guys would have money in the budget. I hope you would. I know we have Wi-Fi, so it wouldn't be that expensive to install cameras in the park. Also, there are other illegal activities happening in that park. I understand they have some on the rec center, but I think we need more installed throughout the park so that we can all enjoy ourselves at the park, and the children as well, and they don't have to deal with smelling the drugs or any other illegal activities going on in the park. So that's all I have for you tonight, but thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for everything you're doing. We look forward to more budget for our playground, in which Miss Sharon Sims had spoken about. I hear an echo, so I'm sorry.
We hear too. I think we have somebody who's trying to call in, and it's a problem. Ms. Dixon, we heard what you had to say there. Folks, if you could ask, I assume it's Ms. Henderson Sims. Ms. Sims, you have to turn off your computer or your phone. But not your phone.
Turn off the phone?
At least for now, yes.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah. All right, Ms.
Thank
Dixon.
you, everyone.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Ms. Dixon, I want to make sure you know that our staff is listening. Representatives from Park Police are listening. So your concerns are definitely noted. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to see Ms. Moretta Henderson Sims. Ms. Kingold, hold on one sec for me. Ms. Henderson Sims, you want to try again? See if you call in and see if we can. If you turn on your phone, see if we can hear you without an echo.
You still have an echo? Can I just leave the meeting itself? Okay.
Yes, you can either mute your computer speakers. That'll probably eliminate the echo.
Okay.
Go ahead and try speaking now.
Okay, is that better?
That's great. Thank you. Can everyone
That's
else hear it,
perfect.
Jerry?
Thank you.
Okay.
We're good to go. Go ahead. Ms. Henderson Sims, introduce yourself, and we'll put 3 minutes up on the clock, and the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for your patience. My name is Moretta Henderson Sims. I am a 28-year resident here in District 7 in Prince George's County, actually in Temple Hills, Maryland. And I'm here basically to also support or request the funding, whatever is needed, desperately needed for the repairs for the Southern Regional Aquatic Wellness Center. As a senior with the disabilities, I was in need of the services and amenities it provided. I was personally actually in that pool 5 days a week from the center's very opening until it was abruptly closed in January of this year. Again, this therapeutic setting is the only one of its kind in this area. Its closing was extremely disappointing after having waited so long for it to be completed. The center is equipped. It's a therapeutic pool, a leisure pool. It has a spa, and it truly has been a tremendous help for aquatic workouts and therapy. It is equipped with ramps and handrails and the parallel bars and the other equipment that supports water walking, your balance, strength building activities. And it actually provides an environment for those with disabilities and other health challenges, as you heard earlier, to safely exercise and to improve their wellness. This center is not only just for seniors or those with disabilities, but we have seen also swimming programs for youth and activities for them there as well. You know, the concerns for the structural and mechanical issues, unfortunately, are not new ones, and there have been numerous closures due to the, you know, equipment malfunctioning. But, you know, less than 3 years, you know, something that we've dreamed for, loved, and looked forward to for so long is now closed. And because of the abrupt closure, you know, people are frustrated, and it's left us with really no appropriate place to be. So using the sense, we were told to go to other pools, and again, facilities that are not, these are not necessarily equipped to meet therapeutic needs. And so as we approach 9 months now being closed, there's no indication of, you know, what work being done, and really not much communication, honestly, about where we're standing with things. I know something has been done, but we're not quite sure all of what has been planned or what the process will be going forward. And so we know that even if it's litigation, that can be a prolonged process. And so we really would just like to, you know, to have something done so that this beautiful facility that's sitting there can be of use. I don't know what we are to do as we wait for things to be figured out. So I would like certainly to propose that, you know, we move forward with some kind of budgeting for the funds, for those necessary repairs, so that we can provide these services that are so needed for those residents who are in need of that type of facility. So I thank you for the opportunity to share my concerns and those of others who would like to see the Wellness Center return to full operation as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson-Sims. And please know that, you know, obviously there's as you noted, there is a process in place. It sounds like it would be more than helpful and fair to make sure that you get the information about what the status is. The team is listening, they're taking notes. I'm sure they can develop a process ASAP to make sure that even more information gets out there if there are folks who aren't hearing it, and have you be a part of the conversation, okay? So thank you very much for taking the time to, and your patience around technology too. We're glad we got to hear your voice.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next we have Janet Gingold and then Darlene Mungen. Ms. Gingold, good to see you. Take it away, floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Janet Gingold. I live at 13107 Whiteholm Drive in Upper Marlboro. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Prince George's Sierra Club. We'll be sending some more detailed written comments, but tonight I just want to share some of the highlights. First, thank you for all your important work. You've been hearing about how important it is to so many people to have available parks and recreation. And I want to underline everything they've just told you. But my remarks are mostly focused on planning. We hope to see the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning budget for the next fiscal year provide adequate funding, not only for park operations, but also for continued implementation of the county's climate action plan, especially for land use planning and management of public lands to improve climate resilience in our communities, with focus on health, equity, and nature-based solutions. Current funding is needed to continue the ongoing integration of climate resilience goals into all long-range county plans, policies, and the capital improvement program. Robust community engagement is needed for identifying and addressing community needs. Communities with the most need should be prioritized for resilience projects, from tree plantings and rain gardens to stormwater management, microgrids, and resilience hubs. Funding should be allocated to develop a network of resilience hubs that can provide reliable, locally generated electricity and resources for residents in the event of infrastructure damage and power outages. Long-range planning should include the development and maintenance of resilience hubs for all communities, with under-resourced communities receiving more government-funded support. We want to see funding that supports the use of upgraded mapping tools and data dashboards for addressing the impacts of excess heat and extreme precipitation events, and for monitoring and assessing program effectiveness. We want to see dedicated staff time and consultants for applying for available state and federal funding for climate resilience projects. Applications for Resilient Maryland program are due November 15th, so get them in. Please provide resources for developing procedures and guidelines for taking climate impacts into account in decision-making and implementing the new tree conservation and stream buffer regulations. Resources are also needed to update capital improvement projects to include climate resilience criteria and updated precipitation projections, and to ensure projects are designed for energy efficiency and energy resilience. To reduce flood risk, natural areas and agricultural open space should be preserved and restored, and development in the floodplain should be restricted. This requires funds for the acquisition of forested land and land in the floodplain where development should not occur. We hope to see investment in more conservation landscaping and native plantings to decrease the need for pesticides, mowing, and watering. Additional funding should be dedicated for the control of invasive species, especially those that kill mature trees, including mobilizing community members to help care for public lands. We hope you can find funding for a stewardship program that pays young people to remove invasive species and care for urban trees. In addition to the electrification of vehicles, we hope to see funding for the replacement of gas-powered mowers, blowers, and other landscaping equipment with cleaner, quieter electric machines. To decrease the risks of heat illness, employees who work outdoors should be provided with adjusted schedules, adequate breaks, and access to water and places to cool off. We just have 2 more words for you tonight. Reduce plastic. To reduce litter caused by single-use plastics, please fund the installation and maintenance of more stations for refilling reusable bottles at community centers, gyms, athletic fields, and trailheads. Also, we urge you not to fund additional synthetic turf fields and to invest instead in maintaining natural grass athletic fields. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, you, Ms. Gingold. And as always, you're chock full of good ideas. So we'll look forward to the written comments as well. Thank you.
Chairman, I believe you're muted again for some reason.
I'm so sorry. Then Ms. Gingold, you missed what I said. I wanted to say I want to thank you because you're always chock full of great ideas, and we look forward to your written comments as well. Next, we have Darlene Mungin and then Beverly Jones. Ms. Mungin? Beverly Jones and then Valeria Long. Ms. Jones? Valeria Long and then Symbiat Odeshina. Ms. Long? Symbiat Odeshina and then Megan Krieger. Ms. Odeshina.
Hello. My name is Symbiat Odeshina.
Odeshina, I'm sorry. Ms.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just wanted to put in another request for more funding for Herbert Wells, so the walls can be closed in. I started lessons last year and I'm doing it again this year because I really enjoyed the experience. But because of the time gap with the summer, I'm sure I've regressed. I am from DC, but Herbert Wells is the closest to me. So I pay more because I'm not in the county, but I'm really willing to do so to support the center. If it was open year round, I would definitely be one of the people that would continue to take lessons throughout the year. And it would also be like a much closer year round open ice rink for a lot of us in the DMV area. Also, I don't have kids, but through taking lessons there, I've seen so many talented and kids passionate about ice skating there. So I think if it was open the whole year, it would really help the community. And like even just this past summer, I realized like Maryland produces so many Olympians and has so many athletes. So like you never know, those kids may end up going really far if they have access to a full year of ice skating. And overall, I think having the ice rink open all year would really help the PG County growing community and also those of us who live around it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Odeshina. I'm glad you were patient with us, and it was good to hear your words. Next, we have Megan Krieger and then Darlene Darby. Ms. Krieger.
Hi, thank you for the chance to comment. My name is Megan Krieger and I live in Accokeek. I want to echo the need to prioritize the environment when considering the Commission's budget for planning parks and recreation in PG County. As we've unfortunately seen, climate change is increasing the amount of intense rainfall events. We recently saw the devastation caused by Hurricane Helene, in which many lost their homes, and the death count has now surpassed 160 people. The implementation of recommendations of the PG County Climate Action Plan, especially regarding land use planning and management of public lands to increase climate readiness of our communities, with particular attention to nature-based solutions and equity concerns, is more important than ever. Funding will be needed to revise and update green infrastructure standards and stormwater design manuals for climate resilience. Additionally, new procedures will be needed to incorporate climate resilience into zoning practice. In my neighborhood in Accokeek, PG County removed the riparian buffer and increased the amount of impervious surfaces along our stream. Natural bioretention was removed and the natural flow of water was redirected towards downstream to homes. Downstream homeowners received no formal notice of this alteration. There are currently no solid plans for remediation for this devastation, although we hope solid plans can be budgeted for in the future. The EPA recommends slowing, stopping, and spreading stormwater before it reaches our waterways. FEMA also recommends nature-based solution and has guides on best practices, which run counter to the techniques we witnessed in our community. I spoke with the department that completed the construction in 2021 Office of Storm Drain Maintenance this year, and they stated that they do not complete this type of work, and they were also not aware of a person or department in the county who would complete this type of work. This illustrates why funding for professional development for staff to inform more climate-conscious decision-making decisions at all levels needs to be accounted for, as well as dedicated funding for consultant support. Current stormwater plans do not account for the intense rainfall events that we were seeing. This increase in stormwater is not only dangerous to downstream homeowners, it accounts for increased amount of pollutants and sediment into our watershed. This creates an environmental justice issue where developers profit from building less affordable homes upstream, and where older, more affordable homes are burdened with the increased stormwater, resulting in property damage, safety concerns, and environmental devastation. A holistic study of our stream's watershed is needed, along with the nature-based remediation plan that restores and increases the natural bioretention and restores the natural flow of water. The creation of a climate resilience land conservation trust would facilitate any land acquisition needed to protect our watershed and downstream homes. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Thank
Hello?
you. Yes.
Hello?
Is this Ms. D, Ms. Mungen?
No, this is Beverly. This is Beverly Jones. I was trying to get you on the phone.
Okay, Ms. Jones, hold on one sec. I think D. Mungen also wanted to speak as well.
Yes, good
Okay.
afternoon.
All right, hold on, folks, just so we're clear. I'm going to have Ms. Mungen speak, and then Ms. Jones is going to have you speak, and then we'll continue on with the list. So take it away.
Sure. Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me speak. I am a Fort Washington resident, right across 210 here. And I'm calling in regards to, speaking in regards to the Southern Regional Aquatic Center. I have been a member or going there since inception, since it opened. I took the classes from beginner to intermediate to advanced classes in swimming. I was there the night when the hole started coming through the pool. I just wanted to say this center has been as beneficial as the young lady said earlier for the morning crew as much as it has benefited the evening. You have a huge evening crew of people that come from work and go straight there. We've met, have camaraderie with each other. The communications to all of the people that have been attending the center has been poor. sending us to other centers. The closest center was Allentown Road, in which you have no openings for after 5 o'clock for us to even attend. We have to either go all the way to to Branch Avenue or some other place. The communication has been horrible. No one has communicated to those people who have spent our money. Not only for me, I'm saying for myself. I've taken all 3 classes. My grandson has taken classes. My daughter has taken classes. And we're just all getting the runaround of sending us here and there, and then sending us to places that are booked up with classes. And for Allentown Road to send us there to give us 45 minutes of time is not enough time when you've been going 4 and 5 times a week to a center that we've been waiting for, and it's here. So the behavior, the communications has been truly unacceptable. We've been writing in, we've been calling in, we've been texting, and we're getting no communication. Just by chance, someone gave me this link about this meeting tonight, because I've never been on any meetings at all, but I've been a big part of writing in to the center. That's why we have that wellness sign outside now of the center at Bach Road, because you all were attentive when we wrote in. But it's really sad that there's a large community that was attending the wellness center, and there's no communication back to us. The communication truly that I have received is from the lifeguards. Your lifeguards that taught me how to swim are the ones that gave me the communication. So I thank you for your time. I hope this is rectified as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being patient again, and know again that staff is on the line and they're hearing your concerns, especially around the communication. So thank you. Thanks for taking the time. Next, we have Beverly Jones. You're on the line as well, correct?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Thank you. Go ahead, introduce yourself, and you have 3 minutes up on the clock, and the floor is yours.
Yes, I'm Beverly Jones, and I'm picking back on the Bach Road pool closure. I've been a resident of Prince George's County for 54 years, and I've been paying taxes for 54 years, state taxes and home ownership since '83. And now since I'm retired, I'm enjoying everything about Prince George's County and trying to take all the benefits. But I feel as though we've been ignored, because we've been speaking to different people and we haven't gotten a response. So I'm hoping you put this as a priority on top of your list. That pool needs to be open again. I would appreciate it. And I thank all of the seniors that's been in it every morning. We've been benefiting from it. Please put it at a priority on your list. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Very much appreciate it.
Sure.
Next, we have Darlene Darby, and then Denise Holly. Ms. Darby. Denise Holly, and then Candace Scott and Ms. Holly. Candace Scott, then Carol Beatty. Ms. Candace Scott. Carol Beatty, and then Kate Davis. Carol Beatty. Kate Davis. Ms. Davis, are you on the line?
She is not, but I'm standing in for her. Hello, everyone. My name is Nemesis Zambrano.
Okay.
I'm with Pyramid Atlantic, and I'm the engagement coordinator there. As I hope you all know, we are an art space dedicated to printmaking, papermaking, and book arts, nestled in Hyattsville. We welcome about 20,000 people annually to our workshops, studios, and exhibitions. I just wanted to thank MNC PPC for supporting arts and cultural programs in the county. We're thrilled to see that it is highlighted as an FY26 initiative. Pyramid has been a proud partner of MNC PPC on several programs, and we hope that those arts partnerships will continue and grow with Pyramid and our other arts colleagues. I would like to highlight one partnership in particular to illustrate the impact of your work. For 3 years, we have partnered with Prince George's County's Hispanic Heritage Month poster. The students meet at Pyramid, use our professional studios to create art, and receive training from professional artists. These young artists have the opportunity to collaborate with other young creatives in our county and gain an appreciation for the team effort that goes into making printed artworks. They build confidence in our studios and learn how to continue engaging with Pyramid as volunteers and exhibitors. We are enabling these beautiful high-touch experience for our young people, and we are deeply grateful to you all.
Thank you very much. And it was a lovely poster this past time. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
done.
They had a blast putting it together. So thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. I've got no one else who signed up on the list. I'm going to be patient with me. I just want to make sure everyone gets their voice heard. I'm just going to run through the names very quickly one more time. Brandon Searles, Alan Oakes, Trey Proctor, Travone Suki, Tamara Davis Brown, Lola Tumaini, Cassandra Cartagena, Nova Johns, Dr. Jushel McLaurin, Patrice Brown, Dawn Queen, Xavier Conte, Kathy Bartolomeo, Rashida Holman Jones, Portia Anderson, Valeria Long, Darlene Darby, Denise Holly, Candace Scott, Carol Beatty. That is everybody. Folks, this concludes the public testimony. I want to thank everybody for logging in remotely, providing your thoughts and suggestions on our budget. And a reminder, written comments will be accepted until the close of business on Wednesday, October 16, 2024. As you see before you, by mail, fax, or email. We appreciate all of your participation and collaboration as we continue to enhance our planning and parks and recreation offerings and service for all the residents of Prince George's County. I want to thank everybody very much, and this budget hearing is closed. Thank you, colleagues, very much for all of your time.